Hello, my name is Katie Burke. I am the founder and host of the Modern Priestess Project, and in today's conversation, I'm honored to introduce Hira from Mindful Euphoria. We are talking a lot about using divinity tools such as the tarot deck, and what came through Hira in our conversation was such a powerful conversation. I could feel her energy as she was speaking, and it was a very intense 20 minutes. So I'm really excited to share this conversation. It felt really good after we got done recording. We both kind of nodded at each other like this was really good. So I'm excited to share it today, and would love to hear what you think in the comments, or if you want to get in touch on Instagram with either Hira or myself. I'm at katieburke.co and she is at Mindful Euphoria. So please check us out, and we hope to chat with you a little bit more in Instagram. Here, the Modern Priestess Movement with my friend Hira Bosley, and Hira is the founder of mindfuleuphoria.com, and one of my favorite Instagram accounts to follow. Yeah, seriously. And today we are going to be diving in to talking about how to use tools as an oracle, and how to create our own kind of custom messaging and healing modalities for our clients or friends or anyone that you want to be of service of. So thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to have this conversation.
Thank you for having me. I am equally as excited.
Yay! All right. Well, you do a lot of card readings.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of the women listening probably have a few decks of their own. I've actually got some set to the side here that feel very supportive to me. So can you tell us how you got started in that? When did you first start pulling cards?
Actually, when I was a teenager, I had gone to just a random store and got a tarot deck and started dabbling it with when I was younger, just for fun with my friends, and I had no idea what I was doing in any capacity. But
and that was probably one of the really traditional looking ones. Like that was the first one I had. That was before there was all these like really beautiful.
Yeah, it's very mainstream now. Yeah,
right. But I had that probably one of the same decks you did, where it's like that super classic tarot deck.
Yeah. So dabbled in a little bit of it then when I was a teenager, but really picked it up a few years ago, maybe like 2014. I was taking this certified metaphysical practitioner course, and one of the modules was tarot, which I was very interested in. So that's kind of what started my journey into really bringing it into my consciousness and, understanding it a little bit more. But I would say I'm definitely not a traditional tarot reader. I don't do well with, I don't do well with, subscribing to common definitions or what other people think. It's just not my way of learning. I don't do well with memorization in that way. So it's really just been an evolution and a journey of diving into the practice and finding out, what cards mean to me, or really just what it feels to me that day or in that moment, or the energy that I'm getting. So they're more, for me, it's more like just an energy reading, and using the cards as a physical tool to kind of assess what energetically is coming through, what messages are coming through. It's kind of just a physical representation of an energy reading for me.
Yeah, that's really great. So you obviously use tarot decks. Do you use angel cards? Because there's so many options for decks. Yeah. So do you kind of dip in all of those?
Yeah, I have a bunch of decks. The one that I'm most drawn to is the Star Child. I have a bunch of other decks that I started out with and used before, but once I found that one, it was kind of like, oh, this just resonates more with my soul and my spirit. So that's the traditional tarot deck that I use. And then I do use other decks, just whatever I'm feeling called to. I have goddess decks. I have a crystal deck. I have, the moon deck. I have a bunch of other different things. So again, I just try to kind of tap into the energy and what the intention is with the reading. And we'll use others to kind of supplement the messages that I'm getting. But Star Child is really my main tarot deck that I really just can't bring myself to use anything else.
It's
just
gorgeous.
A personal preference. Yeah.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous deck.
Yeah.
So we were saying before we started recording, I love that you were like, well, I do more than card. Like, there's a lot more involved here. Like, I pull in a lot of other energetic elements in my readings. So, I would love for you to explain how you've created what works for you, because that, like, at the end, if any woman watching any of these videos, that is what I feel like we're driving home the most, is that you need to create these modalities that are really like your fingerprint of how you offer your service. So how have you done that? Can you tell us a bit about everything that goes into your work, and where that inspiration came from?
Yeah. So for me, this is why recently, the past few months, I had to kind of veer away from doing smaller, like one card readings I was doing for a while, because I can't, when I sit down to do a reading, it's a ritual, and I'm investing so much of my time, and I'm a writer, so doing my process is very personal. So I'm not good at sitting across from someone and doing cards for them. Even with my friends, like I'm a very internal person, so my process is very personal. If I'm sitting down, I am setting the scene. I'm going to be meditating. I'm going to be tapping into their energy, their guides, my guides, all of that. So it really is this personal sort of experience. That's why I love being able to do this work and give people, readings via email, which some people I think might not be as familiar with. But for me, distance work is real because energy knows no bounds.
Absolutely. I'm just going to sing your praises for a moment, because one of my best friends, Danielle Bertoya, you gave her a reading. Yeah. And it was like that day, she's like, Mama, I gotta lay down. Like, it was really profound for her. Yeah. And that was, I was like, oh yeah. Like, it was one of those things that clicked for me, that like, of course, like, that's a beautiful way to set up your readings, and that it sounds like that's what works for you. So good for you for like figuring that out, and then being like, no, this is how we're going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's a personal experience, and for me to really tap into my gifts and give the best reading that I can, it's about, like I said, I'm very internal, so I need to tap into that space, and I can't do it if someone's sitting across the table from me. Yeah. So maybe I'll get there someday, never say never, but for me, I really enjoy doing that, and I like taking beautiful pictures. So you mentioned Instagram, which is why I love Instagram so much, is curating photos, so people get this beautiful PDF that they could print out or keep with them, and it's all channeled writings and beautiful pictures to kind of go with it. So I think people enjoy it. I've gotten really good feedback and testimonials.
Do you incorporate crystals, any other energies that are kind of that you are invoking or bringing to the table? Any other like physical items that you use?
Yeah, crystals for sure. I'm a huge fan. I have a lot of crystals. I use them in my photos, but I also use the energy too. Sometimes I will be drawn to using that. So a lot of, again, the readings that I get are channeled information. So sometimes what comes through is maybe someone needs a crystal or something to help them through this period. Because a lot of what my readings are doing, I have to make this disclaimer that I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not here to tell you, A, B, or C, or if you and your boyfriend are going to be together in 6 months. My readings are really empowerment readings. They're there to kind of shine the light maybe on an aspect that you haven't been able to see, but I'm here to guide and support people, not to give you the answers. You're the only one that can find the answers. So if I'm getting messages about, hey, maybe you need to, go find a piece of amethyst or, whatever it may be, if I'm called to bring that into a reading, absolutely. And I use them in my photos just to kind of, bring that vibrational frequency or that energy into the reading as well. Absolutely. Love crystals.
Great. Can you tell me this title, a priestess and oracle, like these are some words that I've been hearing from women that like they kind of resist a little bit. But what do these words mean to you, and are you comfortable using them? Have you felt like you're stepping into priestesshood, or I don't know, how do you feel about that?
So when I think there's a difference, and this is why I love what you're doing with this project, is when you hear the word priestess, I think that can evoke feelings of like sitting on a throne, or it's this very, it brings with it a certain energy, but I think when you put the word modern and modern day priestess in there, it gives it a different spin because, I'm a mom too, I have two
Yeah.
kids, I'm in the trenches just like everybody else,
Right.
and life is not easy. So modern day priestess looks a lot different when you just hear that word singularly on its own. So it's about taking the energy of that word priestess and bringing it into this modern day and what that means. And so for me, it really is, I feel like when I think of that word or defining it in some way, I feel like it's a level up. So it's those of us who have been on this journey. We've been through our awakening. We've done the work. We've gone inward. We've done the healing. And now we're at this kind of new level where we are embodying the lessons and we're integrating what we've learned into our lives and we're sharing it outwardly. So that's when I was thinking about and preparing for this call, that's kind of what resonated with me is really, it doesn't have to look like, sitting on a throne, because that's certainly, I mean, if I were to pan my camera around it, it is not what it is looking like in real life. So it's bringing this realness, this modern day aspect, because also it's not hard to see that the world around us right now is crumbling in every aspect. I mean, we're fighting for clean water. Monsanto is poisoning our food. I mean, the list could go on and on and on. And so I feel
every aspect.
Yes, every single aspect. I mean, look at Donald Trump, and he's doing exactly what he's here to do, which is bring all of this up because we need to transform and bring and shift us into this new way of being. And so I feel this is why I really resonate with you and the work that you're doing, because it's so important that those of us that are here on the earth at this time, we are on a mission and we have work to do. And that really is about embodying what that means to you and living your life that way and doing this work and joining together. So it's really a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for saying all of that. That is an important statement. It's really important for people to really let that sink in and to understand that right now. And so I hear you, and a lot of the women that I'm talking to, and probably a lot of the clients that you get, I think have this sense of urgency about being in their service, and there's a lot of fire, that I feel with people who are coming into these gifts, and they just want to accelerate and go full force and full into it. However, in doing that, and we all should be doing that, I'm like, that's great. But we also
need delicate balance, though.
That's what I was going to. So how do you balance that? Because you, I can tell, like, people who are putting out as much content as you are and like really in it, and your mother, that's a lot that you're giving. So how do you give back to yourself, and how do you balance that out? How do you kind of find your grounding?
So part of this is really relevant in my life right now, because in some of the energy work that I've been doing for myself, or the messages that I've been getting for myself, I've just started to dabble in Akashic Records, and I'm just at the point where I'm just in my own and opening up my own. But recently when I started doing that, what came through really strongly for me, which can feel contradictory, especially as a mother, is but the message that I heard, which isn't anything new, but it came through with such strength that because I feel that I'm on this mission and I'm here on this earth at this particular time for a reason, my self-care is more important than anything and anyone else.
Yes.
And that
Yep.
It's really it's an evolving lesson. It's not something that I have down because we
Mm-hmm.
are. I mean, I even also work full time, so this is a side passion and hustle for me right now. I hope that someday it will transition into something more, but for me right now, that's not my path. I am working full time. Very grateful for my job, but yeah, I think that. It's my self-care and taking care of myself. That's through eating. So actually on June 13th, I started I've always struggled with digestion and all this stuff. I had been healing, past traumas. So now I was ready to step into clean diet and all these things. It really is driving home for me that as much as I love my family, my husband, my children, if I don't take the front seat and I don't take my self-care seriously, I actually do not serve anyone or anything in my life, including my mission and what I'm here to do. I'm not doing that any justice. So it has to, as much as it can feel, like I said, contradictory as a mother, it really is important to carve out time for myself, to spend time in these rituals and these moments, and self-care, eating, exercising, all of this kind of stuff. You have to just try to make it a priority, and it's really about reforming. We all take time to brush our teeth, so you just have to remap your brain to understand this is just a non-negotiable.
Right, absolutely. And when you step into your priestesshood, I think it is a non-negotiable. It's not even something. It's not optional anymore.
Right.
It's not optional. It's a requirement
Yeah.
to take it that seriously, and it becomes a part of the work. It's not like there's the service. It's like, but actually feeding yourself in that way is part of the service. Yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up. That's not something that I've touched on with anyone so far, and I'm happy to hear that coming from another mother. And we have a lot of mothers actually in this series, which is great. That's why I've been I'm like calling forth an abundance of mothers into this work for me personally, because it feels really good to connect to you. So that's really, really wonderful. So where do you see yourself evolving when you tap into your future self? What's there?
So for me, right now I'm doing a lot of sort of the one-on-one work with people, but my vision for a while has really been about speaking to people in a larger capacity. So I think that involves kind of motivational speaking. I do feel a strong calling also to want to talk to the youth. I became a mother at 21, so I've been in the game for a little bit here, like 12. And it's a crazy world that we're raising children in, and I look at these teenagers and the time that we're in the day and age of the Kardashians and everything else, and no judgment, but I think it's really important to
it's really difficult to navigate because
it is. So I'm feeling really strongly about that, bringing our young girls and our young boys, because I have a boy too, and it's just as hard for them there's very much a movement for the divine masculine as well as the divine feminine, because we need them to serve their half just as much as we need to be in our alignment as well. So I feel my future self is really about speaking to people more and a broader sort of way or audience, and seeing how that unfolds. Recently I've been having it come through, and I actually haven't shared this, so the fact that I'm being prompted to say this out loud is probably a good thing, but feeling like it's time for me to write a book. And I've always been a writer, but it always had felt like something way down the road, so 10, 15 years, but really getting the call loud and clear that's like, no, it's time now to start writing that. And so maybe that would be the catalyst to start speaking to people in that broader way that I'm looking for. But that's really my future self.
The book is always the beginning. That's that's what's coming through really strongly for me, is the book is the beginning, and that's ooh, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to the book. I'm gonna hold that vision
I
for
said
it.
it now. I put it out
Put
there.
it out there. It's recorded. Yeah. So that's really great. Let's celebrate that. That's amazing, actually. Yeah, thank you for having the bravery to claim that. That's amazing. And I hope that inspires some other women who are watching and they're feeling that nudge, right? Because I'm sure you've been feeling that, like, I've had these where it's like, oh, that's a big deal, but okay, we'll think about that
And the
later.
ego comes in. As soon as it drops into your consciousness, that's the opportunity for your ego thoughts to come in and be like, who are you? You're not smart enough. You're not this. You're not that. And
you don't have the time. You don't have the
exactly.
support. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what could I possibly write about? Nobody's going to want to read. It brings up a lot of your stuff and that's where, it's important to integrate when you start to get these messages and you bring it down from these higher levels into your consciousness right here, right now, in this present moment. It does open up the portal for your ego and all these other things to step in. So it is, when you're rooted in your rituals and you're doing this work, you can view that and say, okay, I know what that is. I know where that's coming from, but I'm still going to push ahead and push outside of your comfort zones. And that's where the magic happens, I think.
Yeah. Wow. How did it feel for you? So something else that I think is really, like, we need to really step out of this is that I feel a lot of women still have this, like, 1 foot out of the magic closet and 1 foot no, like like censoring themselves. Do you feel like you've just totally, because I mean, I feel like I feel like you've just kind of stepped out. You're like, yeah, this is what I do. You seem very present and firm in the work and service that you're doing. Was there a time where you kind of had both feet in, and like, how did you just finally step out?
Sure, absolutely. And I think that's the way it is for a lot of people. So I think
I think it's a natural stage in the process.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what I was talking about, the difference between just beginning your sort of awakening journey where you're feeling this pull and you're really in this research mode where you're looking to define what you're feeling, and then you move out of that into just integrating it. So it's no longer I'm trying to figure out what this means to me and what my ideals are, into I'm actually integrating it into my body and it's a part of who I am. So I think I don't know that I can recognize exactly when it was for me, but I just feel like it's just a natural evolution where you get to this point where it's like, this is who I am. This is, like I said, I feel like I'm on a mission. So there's no wavering on that. It's kind of just like, and especially when you look outwardly into the world, like we were talking about in the crazy world that we're living in right now, there's no time anymore for that. And actually, when I was opening up my own Akashic records, part of that message that came through was almost this humor of like, if you could see yourself from a soul perspective, because I believe we are spirits having this human experience. So if you could view yourself from this soul level, you would laugh. There's no more time for suffering about, I don't look this way, or I'm not enough, or I'm not smart enough, this, that. It's like, don't waste any more time or energy. It was almost like they were laughing, like, there's no more time for that. Like, this is, you're here for a reason. Like, do the work, girl. Like, this, so I think it just is a natural evolution where you just get to this comfortable place about how much you've learned and where you've gotten to.
That's a great reminder. And I got chills when you were saying that, of almost the comic tone of just like, are you kidding? Like, just, there's nothing to be afraid of any longer. Yeah. Which that has really started to resonate with me this year, is like, what, the world's already a crazy enough place. If I think that I'm, quote, crazy for this work, I fit right in, because everything is so heightened right now. Yeah. So we get to choose where, our energy is being so, I don't even know the word, but I can like visualize it, of where everything seems to just be expanding really quickly. Yeah, rapid ascension. Really rapidly. And so why not just like jump into what
embrace
you love
it,
and what feels good in your heart? So Oh, wonderful. Well, how can we work with you right now? How can we access what you're doing? And if someone wants to book a one-on-one session, what does that look like, and how could they get started?
So you can find me pretty much anywhere at Mindful Euphoria. So my website's mindfuleuphoria.com. And I have an offerings page. So I do energy work and I do tarot readings, which are kind of one and the same. So I'm open to different modalities, but I work with people one-on-one. I can do, I'm a Reiki practitioner, so I can do distance Reiki, where I kind of guide people through almost like a guided meditation to kind of balance your chakras. So I can do kind of one-on-one intuitive sessions to where we can start with something and then just intuitively move to what that may mean or what you may need at that time. So it could embody pulling cards, or I can do the tarot readings where you get a PDF of, this beautiful channeled guidance and writings and pictures. So yeah, it's all, to me, it's all energy work, but it can take different shapes and forms. So I work with people in any capacity.
Wonderful. Well, I would say if anyone watching is resonating with you, to definitely explore that. And I just want to thank you for your time and this really powerful energy and message that you brought through today. I'm very, very grateful. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I feel the same way. Very, very grateful to be here.
Thanks.